Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Suleiman Raheem here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Brothers and sisters, we're in critical times. Those of you who have been studying know what time we're in. We're fast approaching the boiling point. If you consider the knowledge, the understanding you had of the world a year ago compared with the understanding you have now, those of you who have been studying, then you have a good idea of the condition our people are in. Because a year ago, no one saw this year coming unless you was paying attention to my presentations. No one even had a hint of it. Mr. Farrakhan never mentioned it. He didn't see it coming. He ran into it 2,020 miles per hour, just like everyone else. And this has been a dramatic year. Dramatic. And it's getting more dramatic all the time. America has been shaken to its foundation. Every institution, every organization, everything is being stress tested and is failing. You can see it's about to come down. Everything is being tested. You have to admit, you haven't seen anything like this. You never saw anything like this coming. Everything has changed since last year. And now you hear Mr. Farrakhan, oh, a war is coming, a war is coming. After, 7, 8, 9 months? A war is coming. Really? Well, winter's coming also. No, breaking news. He didn't see his virus. All of a sudden he knows all about it. His whole presentation now is, we ain't gonna take that, we ain't gonna take the vaccination. He doesn't even, really? You're not? But you're wearing a mask, but you claim you control it. He has no idea what's going on. So he has to take a stance, he has to say something to keep attention. See? But they're crumbling from within. So we're not going to dwell on that. We're going to talk about Gog and Magog. Magog, the mother of Gog. Britain is Magog. America is Gog. They're mentioned in chapter 20, where after the Dark Ages, 1,000 years in the pit, they will come out and cover the whole world and deceive the whole world. Deceive the whole world. That means have the whole world going in the wrong direction. See? And then they will circle the Middle East, and that's where the end will come. And we see that's happening. They've been circling the Middle East since 1990. That's when the seals were broken. So we see all the things that says is supposed to be happening right now. And we never see all these things converge as we see them right now. We see someone that have to be, according to Scripture, there have to be someone present that's broken the seals. Now, have you seen Silas or Farrakhan claim they've broken the seals? Have they shown any evidence? So that's one thing you would see. One other thing you would see is that there was this Elijah that he would be around about 40 years. And after he would come this lion, disemboweled, no good Aaron for about another 40 years. That would put us right to right now. That's another one. We see all the stuff going on in the so-called Middle East. We see all the troubles going on in America. We see this plague, and they gave you the exact year that would happen. 1619 to 2019, 2020 would be the plague that would kill. They even tell you not only the year, but they tell you the nature of it. That would kill the firstborn. That means the elderly, but it would pass over, right? Those that had the blood of the lamb, which if you watch the previous videos, that would tell you that would be black people, real black people, not demons, because they get the same fate as their daddies. So we see Africa, of all the nations on the planet, all the continents, black Africa is supposed to be the poorest of all, and they're virtually untouched by it. And we are here also. Oh, they're dying like flies over here. Maybe the demons are. See, that's one of the dangers of demons, because they look like us, they walk like us, they talk, so they can always point to them, pretend that that's us. That's why you see all these stupid movies, you know, they humiliating black women and all that kind of stuff, make like fools and clowns. That's them. And we get the hit for it. That's not us, that's them. So we're not going to dwell on that. But this is, it says Babylon's fall, from the time of her fall to the time of her being burned down with fire. It's talking about 4 winds. It'll be 1 month period. So we're going to talk about some of those things. So we're just going to walk through this and we'll see what the angel has to say about it. See? Because when you understand the angel, you see that almost all of it in the entire Bible. Okay, let me qualify this. Let me broaden it. The whole Bible is locked. The angel is revelation. The angel key unlocks the rest of the Bible. Exodus, as the brother is trying to explain to you, brother Malik tried to explain to you a while back about Exodus. Yet we can follow Exodus. It is locked, right? But it's little, it's got a little peephole. So you can follow Exodus. If you just follow Exodus just on the surface, right? If you just follow just on the surface, right? Then you'll have some idea of what's going on. But you need to actually get into the details. See? But if you follow the surface, you can't go wrong. Not in the general sense, because you identify Farrakhan right away. It's right there. Anybody read Exodus, just follow what Exodus says and stop, it's corrupt, and try add this track, all kinds of stuff. Just stay what it says right there, follow it. Fraud came, raised Elijah. Elijah goes about 40 years, he leaves. Then come Aaron, who's a liar, a coward, deceives all the people. See, gets disemboweled, gets all his people killed, and then comes Joshua. It's very simple. So if you follow that timeline, because they'll take you up to the point of Elijah, and then they'll stop right there, because they won't tell you. So if you, just think about it, if you were Aaron, what part of that would you have a problem with? The part about Aaron. You would have, up that point, it's okay, but then that point, then you got a problem. And that's the only problem that Farrakhan should have a problem with. See? It's corrupt at that point. What wouldn't Aaron say is corrupt at that point? See, first of all, think about this. Tell them to show you any evidence. See, remember, they deceived the whole world. They got the whole world. I use an analogy of gears. They had the whole world going in reverse. That's how they deceived the whole world. The whole world going in reverse. Okay? So, they have you thinking that the future is the past. That's reverse, right? And the past is the future. That's what chapter 20 tells you, because chapter 20 is actually past. But they telling you that's future. The millennia, they tell you that's in the future. It's already past, because if you know it's past, you just go back and try to figure out when it's past. Then you, if you got that, if you have chapter 20, and you recognize that the millennia is past, that would solve all your problems. That was fix a good percent of your reality right there. Because then you say, when did that happen? Then you go back to the Dark Ages and identify who the devil and Satan, all those people are. And identify what Islam is. It puts all of its perspective once you take and flip it around. Because remember, they deceived Horeb, means you got Horeb going in reverse. See? And so they have you thinking that Exodus is in the future, in the past, but there's no evidence. Tell them to show you one sliver of evidence that any of that stuff ever happened in the past. Any of it. Land of milk and honey that they supposedly went to, right? Where was that? When was that? And once they returned, read the scripture, they would never be uprooted again, never. But they were, because they just came, according to them, they just returned in 1948. So where was they at for 2,000 years? You see? So there's no evidence that they were ever in Egypt or any of that kind of stuff. And even if they were, right, they weren't in a strange land, right, to the north, because other scriptures said actually was to the north. Because where do you think Egypt and Palestine is? They're right next door to each other. Where did Abraham actually lived in Egypt, according to the Bible. He actually lived in Egypt. So there were no strange lands. It's preposterous. Anyway, that's the deception. See, so that's why Elijah had to come. Master Farad Muhammad had to raise Elijah, right? Because before you can go back into forward drive, you have to go to neutral. Because if you try to shift directly from reverse to drive, you're going to tear up your transmission. See, that's why when you look in your car, between drive and reverse, there's neutral. Because you got to go to there, you got to stop going. You stop going backwards first. You got to stop. And then before you go forward. That was Elijah's job. That's why I said he came to prepare the way before me. See, he had to put everything into neutral. So he put the world, when he came out and declared who we were true seed Abraham, right? And the Yaakov process, all that kind of stuff, that brought everything to a screeching halt. Then everything started changing. Everything changed then. Everything changed then. All of a sudden, false Israel gets set up, right? They changed the name of Mongols. And all of a sudden, Sunnis coming over here telling us all this garbage. They never cared about us for the 400 years. Any of these nations never cared for us. And we got, we got to worry about the brown folks and the yellow folks and the green folks and any folks. But when have you ever heard of the Mexicans say, man, we got to look out for those black people? And they've been sitting here the whole 400 years since we've been here. Did anyone come across the border and try to rescue you? Who the brown people? Or the yellow people? You ever hear any Asian person saying, hey, let's look out for the black people? You ever hear that? When? Anyone stand for you? They love Mahatma Gandhi. Did you ever go check out Mahatma Gandhi, check his history out? Mahatma Gandhi was a rabid racist. They get that movie. They don't show the whole thing in the movie, right? Because they don't want you to see the whole thing in the movie. Man was a rabid racist. He started out in South Africa. He was a lawyer down there, oppressing, prosecuting black people. In South Africa, apartheid South Africa, he was down there during that time. You see? And those Indians, they hate black people. They hate black people. They think they worse than the Ku Klux Klan. They think we animals. They oppress their own black people because the real Indians over in India are really dark as Africans are. You never hardly see them over here, do you? That's the trick with Kamala Harris. She's black. She's not black. She's not even close. Her father was Jamaica. That was his nationality. He's ethnic Indian and a Brahmin at that. Brahmin is like state sanctioned superiority, because they're superior to everyone, the Brahmins. You can't do anything in India unless you're a Brahmin. Everybody submits to the Brahmins. And the black people in India, the dark ones, they're called untouchables. Untouchables because, right, you don't want, just like shit's untouchable, that's kind of untouchable. And they can kill, of a so-called untouchable walk across their path, they can kill them with impunity. Nobody would say a damn thing. See? Because I used to work up in Tallahassee, right, when they brought Indians over. And I had a mate, what do they call it, cubicle mate, but wasn't actually, this cubicle was right behind mine. He was a Brahmin. He never talked to me until one day he heard me talk about India. He saw I knew so much about India. He wanted to know how I know so much about India, because I'm a nigga. I'm not looking for anything. And when he saw I knew so much about India and Hinduism and their god Shiva and all that kind of stuff, then he started talking to me, and we became, well, I wouldn't say became friends, but we talked quite a bit. He wouldn't even talk to other Indians, because other Indians was called, like, they call them the forward class, and the backward class, and the merchant class, where they got all these different classes. But he talked to me, and he would start telling me stuff. He told me how they treat the untouchables over there. How many blacks you ever seen going to India? You seen any blacks over in India from Africa? They ain't going over there. They ain't going over there. Do they come over here? And you ever seen any Indians come over here and marry any blacks? It ain't gonna happen. See? Kamala Harris, she's an Indian. She's not black. Well, I mean, they're black complexion. See? But she married white. They ain't gonna marry no black people. She don't care about no black people. She's black. She's not. She cares less about you than the white folks do. That's why she putting black folks in prison in California. You understand? Like popcorn, boom, boom, boom. But bam, she's putting them in like fast she get hold to them. Long sentences. That's your Kamala Harris. But these Negroes, boy, they can be deceived, can't they? Can't they be deceived? They can be deceived. You can tell me any old thing. Like Obama. Obama wasn't one of us. Obama's African. They had no care about us at all. Obama didn't care about you at all. He talked all that stuff. He got your vote, but what did he give you? Nothing. He gave you nothing but lectures. You got nothing from him. See? And black folks keep going for it, because he got the whole world going in reverse. So that's what happened. So Elijah put the brakes on. See? And that troubled them. That shook them. So they had to start trying to keep, hey, try to get it back going in verse again. They couldn't. Because now Suleiman comes along, because that's what it says. He was supposed to prepare the way before me. The angel. The angel gets you going into drive. See? And that's got to give you right mind back. Because it says you will not return to have a thorough knowledge of self. What does that mean? Did you get that from Elijah? No. You get thorough. If you did, then you would have it. He came and gave us a history of ourselves. He didn't give us a thorough knowledge. Has he ever talked about the mind, how it works? See? He talked history about creation, but he didn't tell you the nature of our creation. Analytical mind is spatial, because that's who you are, your mind. So you have a thorough knowledge of self. You have thorough knowledge of mind. You didn't get that from the message of black, but it's not in there. You don't get that from the Quran either. You only get that from the angel, because the angel is your mind. Because mind, what they call religion now. That's your mind. They call religion. They get all kind of fancy names to confuse you. Your religion is your reality. And so what we have now is because just like in the brain, you have two realities. Actually, in your brain, you have the spatial reality and analytical reality. The spatial reality kept the analytical reality under control for trillions of years, but now has asserted itself. See, so we had two minds. It's like we had two seeds. That means you had two minds, right? It's almost the same. I mean, it kind of implies that, doesn't it? So there was two one brain, two minds. It's like you have the Bible. You got one Bible, right? But one Bible, the sealed version and the unsealed version, two minds. Because once you read the sealed version and you get one idea, it's the word of God, ain't it? And then you get the unsealed version and you get a whole different idea altogether. And the two are opposed to each other. Because all I'm teaching you is the Bible, the unsealed version. And those you've been studying, you can see the difference. And so our people are still locked into the sealed version. You see, that's the analytical version. That's the version that says we came up here as sinners. We deserve what we got. See, we see the ham. See, so we're doomed to be slaves for all eternity. See, we're sinful. We became black because we was cursed. See, that's the analytical version. And without breaking the seals, hey, how you gonna argue with that? That's word of God, right? And it is. It's the analytical side. Once you break the seals, now you see the spiritual side, and the two are at war with each other. Okay, so brothers, let's move into this, and let's see where we go with it. Let's see. Okay, it talks about a baptism with water. Now remember, all this verses, all this Bible is talking about right now, this period of time. See? I mean, it talks about what leads up to here, right? The 40 years and the covenant, but the majority of it's talking about what happens once the God comes, when Farah comes. It's covering that period from the time Farah comes until we return back to the promised land. The majority, that's what it's talking about. See? So here, so we talk John the Baptist. Who is John the Baptist? You see? Well, he be in the wilderness. Where's the wilderness? If you read chapter 12, the will tell you the women fled to the wilderness. The wilderness here is America. He be in the wilderness teaching. See? Every time somebody's coming after him, it's like I said in Malachi, said there's two messengers. The messenger that will come prepare the way before the other messenger, the messenger of the covenant. It's right there. But he's going, nobody's coming after Elijah. See, we don't pay attention to them because either they're idiots, they're demons, scriptees, time anchors, right? Or they're working for the agents. Because that's clear enough. How can you say it when it says it right there? Because Malachi is the reason why we're supposed to believe in Elijah to begin with. That's the prophecy. So he fulfilled it. But it says he came, he wasn't it. He was there to prepare the way for something else. It says it right there. See, and that someone else would be the messenger of the covenant. See, who would clean up a mess that someone made. So it could be Elijah's mess, right? Unless you'll say he made the mess up, and then he's the one that would he would clean it up, clean out the demons, and take us back. He's Joshua, take us back home. It's right there. I'm saying Exodus. See, it's right. Exodus is very clear. Yeah, I mean, we ain't talking about Exodus. We're talking about Malachi. So wherever you go, see, the thing is some of those things, like I said, on the surface, even if it's coded, even on the surface, it's enough to prevent you from being deceived. The purpose is not to deceive you, see, because the unsealed version is analytical. It tells you in Genesis, there'll be two lights, the greater light and the lesser light. See? So you had the light, because the sealed version is the only version that the analytical mind can understand, because they can't understand the unsealed version, because their logic is linear, literal. Ours is spatial. See, so we understand allegory and codes and things. See, and that's what we think. But you've been trained not to think that way. So that's part of the problem. So we have to untrain you. Okay, brothers and sisters. So we're going to see what this means. The one thing I want to say before I go there is that one thing, the implication here is when you wash something off with water, you clean the outside. Water doesn't clean the inside, it cleans the outside. See? Take a bath, clean the outside. You can still be filthy on the inside. See? So what Prophet Muhammad did and Elijah Muhammad did, they baptized you with water. They cleaned the outside up. So they gave you the appearance of Islam. See? It wasn't coming from the inside, it was coming from the outside in. So they clean you up. So you got the, soon they're saying the prayers, right? They're doing, they're back with Ramadan. The Quran tells you right there, it's only 12 months, but the lunar calendar they use for their Ramadan has more than 12 months. And the Quran makes it very clear it's only 12. See, so, I mean, it's all right there. So they got, they got the garb on, the Islamic garb and all that kind of stuff, and they got the Holy Land, all that kind of stuff. They got the appearance. But, and same thing with the NOI. Oh, they was the sisters had a covering, right? And they had the suits on, and oh man, it was flashy, impressive. But soon, before they could even bury Prophet Muhammad, they was at war with, they went to war. People went to war, started fighting each other. They killed Ali. He was supposed to be successful. And they started mixing up that old stuff that they had, that old mystic stuff that they was believing in before Prophet Muhammad came along. They started mixing that back in. That's what you got with Sunnism now. Sunnism is not what Prophet Muhammad taught. Even his hadith, he said it wouldn't be what he's taught. He said I think it's six sevenths of his ummah would be held bound. He would know them. And they would know him. That's not his teachings there. Because as soon as he left, because he's baptized with water. So as soon as he left, right? Because he's pushing Islam from the outside in, forcing Islam on you. See, they went to war and everything. They forced Islam, right, upon the people. He was powerful enough to do that. But as soon as he was gone, when you force something on something, it's like you train a tiger. You train as long as you force that. But what you take that force away, he's going to revert back to being the wild beast that he is. And so once Prophet Muhammad was gone, boom, they reverted. Same thing with Elijah. Once Elijah was taken out of the way, bam, they reverted. Because it wasn't in them. It was on the outside. Islam must grow from within. And that's what the purpose of part Al-Injil is. Because we're changing your heart and your mind, not physically. See? How much change you physically? Well, eat, how you can live, stop eating all this stuff and everything, right? And give you history and all that kind of stuff. You see? But you understand that. You had the mathematics behind it. Because it was all, everything that you got from Elijah Muhammad, you took on faith. You didn't have the mathematics or the science, you understand, to back it up. So it's a matter of faith with you. A matter of belief, actually, not faith, because faith is tethered to facts. It's a matter of belief. So therefore, when he was gone, he was gone. Here, we give you the mathematics behind it. See, we give you the scriptures behind it. We give the science behind it. See, because mathematics, science, that's eternal. 1 + 1 is always going to be 2, no matter where you go. Once you understand that, you got it. See, science, the man has a seed. That's science, right? That's not going to change. See, so if your father's a devil, then you and your mother's not a devil, you a demon. Farrakhan, you can claim all this crap you want to. Your father's a devil. Period. You say it. You say it right in your argument, and then you try to clean it up. He says his father's mother and father, right, were Portuguese Caucasian. That's what he says his father's mother and father, both of them, Portuguese Caucasian. Listen carefully. Go read, just Google, Farrakhan says, you understand, his father maybe had been Jewish. Because he said there was Portuguese Caucasian and probably most likely Jewish. That's what he says. So if his father mother and father was Caucasian. How did his father become some light-skinned Jamaican? How does that happen? Unless he was adopted. You see, he's just a big liar. Because he's trying to clean it up. Because he's a demon, period. Legion. It's right in there anyway. So you have to understand, once you start getting the math, you start understanding the Islam, that seed start growing inside of you, start growing outward. So his sisters, right, when they start getting everything, they're gonna change their appearance, the way they carry themselves, the way they dress, right? Because it's coming from the inside out. See, so that light is shining out from the inside. And the brothers, right, they're gonna start, right, being, carrying themselves in a dignified, upright way, right? Because it's coming, and it's gradually getting there. And it's a time frame. It's gonna happen overnight. See, when something happens overnight, you gotta watch out. In some cases, right? So it's growing. So that's why it says Suleiman's kingdom will last forever, because it's coming from the inside out. It's based on mathematics and science. Mathematics, science will always be forever, because everything is mathematics. See, all these other so-called religions. Remember, your mind is your reality, and that's the name they call it now. Cave. Let's give everything a name. So, because we never called it religion before that, it was just reality. But your religion is your reality. They call it, because you have all these realities now. See, you have all these religions, all these realities. Yeah, we all do have different realities, but it has to be, bracketed within universal reality. Mathematics has to be defined by mathematics. If it's not, then it's superstition, it's insanity. And how you know? Because all these so-called religions out there, they can't produce a damn thing. They haven't produced nothing. They haven't produced anything. They can't. Any science, anything, nothing. Because they're not in touch with reality. The only religion that's in touch with reality is mathematics. And that's what KV got. See? They're scientists. They're not going to the Bible, you understand, to make cell phones. That may be mechanical version of it, but still mathematics. They're not going there to make computers. They're not going there to make telescopes, right? And might make vaccines and things. They're not going to the Bible for that. They're going to science books. That's the true religion. But they got the analytical version of it. See, Adam had the analytical version of it. That's why I said, he says, he taught them all, that Lord taught them all their names. Taught them all the angels' names. That's the mathematics where he taught them. They have mathematics, they have the true religion, but it's the analytical side of it, which is rebellious side, which is alien to our creation, because the creation that we brought in is a biological creation. We have we do have a mechanical aspect of it, because we need to get out there into our God, not to the universe. But as far as where we live, we don't do manufacturing stuff here. We got a biological world. And their analytical mind is at war with it. That's why it tearing it up. Talking about global warming and all this stuff going on, these tornadoes and bad weather and animal extinction and all that kind of stuff. Because analytical war is at war. Analytical mind is at war with the biological creation. You see. So we have to bring it under control, because every time we bring in, all our life came from us, from the simplest to most complex. We start with the simplest. Now we end up with the most complex. A beast that will speak to us. We raise a beast from the earth that will speak to us. That's KV. See? But every time we bring a new life into existence, right, we give it a sense of independence. So it finds its way into the creation. It's adapted to the creation. And then we bring in submission. The same thing he had to do with KV. He had to find his way into creation. See? But they're rebellious, and they prove to be destructive to the creation. So we have to get rid of them. Because if we bring something in existence, and we find it destructive to the rest of the creation, we have to take it out of existence. It's the first time it's ever happened, actually. Okay. So we have to take, we observe some of it. the part that we can bring into submission, right? That's the Shia, okay? But the rest of it we have to get rid of because it's adverse to the creation, it's destroying the creation, okay? So we're not about judgment here. We're not judging our brothers and sisters, the seed of Abraham. We're not judging them. See, it says, what does it say? It says, you will not return to have a thorough knowledge of yourself. Does it say, you not return to stop sinning? Not return to you wear uniform until you dress this way or dress that way. It doesn't say that. Thorough knowledge of yourself. Because once you get thorough knowledge of yourself, you're going to fix all other stuff anyway. That stuff can just come in place naturally. See? So nobody's sitting in judgment here because you already paid the price. You're going back home. When you go back home, right, there won't be issues anymore. See? And all this oppression of women and tyranny, all that's going away. Because no one ever told you. You understand? Or they tell you, well, women are equal. Yeah, but they don't really be that. But the thing is that I'm not only telling you that women are equal, I'm explaining to you the mathematics behind it. Why it is, why it's the case. Different but equal. Okay, brothers and sisters. So let's go into see what Angel says about this baptized with water. Okay, here it is. This was talked about. Now see how I have water there? I put that there to be graphic, but normally that would be 2 blocks. It's called water. And that's what it means, water. But see our configuration here? See, that's when the woman, that's chapter 12, remember, she's already corrupted. Half of the black nation is corrupted, is demons, because of 40 years of rape. That's what it said. Half of the half of the blacks in America, right? We got the demons and we got the saints. We got the demons and we got the original. Half of the blacks are demons. See? So half the people you know, right, are statistically demon. If you know 10 people, 5 of them most likely a demon. Okay, see? Everything you see on TV and all that kind of stuff, that's master's children. That's why they're in master's house. They ain't gonna allow you in the master's house. They allow them in the master's house because you don't see anybody talking anything close to what Elijah Muhammad's talking about, anything I'm talking about. You don't see anything close like that on the TV, you ain't gonna hear it. Because master ain't gonna allow that on his house. Anyway, we see here, this is the way, it's chapter 12, right? And we see, right, this is before just around 1975, right? Elijah's present. He's getting ready to leave, right? But he's ministering to NOI and the demons. He was told to preach to both. Because remember, if you read in the scripture, it says someone sowed their evil seed amongst the wheat. They said, no, don't pull the wheat, don't pull that weeds up now, right? Because you might hurt the wheat. See, they call it weeds or chaff. So he said, let them go together. We take care of the harvest. So Elijah Muhammad was told to preach to both of them. That's what he's doing. That gets back to the thing about Elias asking for double portion spirit. Because remember, these are also called spirits. Right there, the woman's also called 7 spirits. I mean, 3 of them was evil spirits. So see the waters right there, right? The waters also represent Sunnism, right? But anyway, it says that he would baptize you with water. And there's a lot more detail in that when it comes to Sunnism and that kind of stuff. Not saying he was turning to worship the golden calf, right? See, so I'm not going to go into that at this point. At any point, it says, baptize you with water. So you stand upon the water. There's Elijah. That's what it means. He'll baptize you with water. John said he'll baptize you with water. But the one coming after him, right, will baptize you with fire. Okay? So that's what that means there. So he would baptize you. See, and the woman fled into desolate where she is having their place having been prepared from God in order that they may nourish her days 1,260. That's 1,260 days, which comes out to 42 years, right? So we talk about that. But so that's talking about, see, this 42 years keep coming up. From 1977 to 2019, that's 42 years. That's also the time of Son of Perdition would be. These 42 years keep popping up. See, that's 42 years there. Also talking about the 42 years of the witnesses was actually it started from 1948. That 42 years keep popping up all the time. 6 times 7, 42. That's interesting. Okay, so that's what's going on, right? That's why it means he baptized your water, right? See. So then, something here. Okay, that's better. Okay, so what's happening here? This and the woman fled to desolate or the wilderness, having placed having prepared from the God, where they may be nourished her days. That's 42 years from 1977, right? That's when Son of Addition showed back up. That Farrakhan shows back up in 1977. 1975 is when Elijah Muhammad departed. 1970, and Farrakhan and Wallace took the nation down. That's the falling away. See, the woman's not doing much. She fell away. That's what it's talking about there. Okay? So if you didn't see that, well, we'll leave it there. So that's when it's falling away. See? Then he was revealed. Who was sitting, remember, where's he sitting at? He said he was sitting in the seat. He was sitting in the temple, Elijah's seat. See here. There you go. See? See the falling away there? And he was sitting in Elijah's seat. Right? Declared himself above God, all that's called God. It says it right there. Who's called God? Faraz is called God, and Satan is called God. Well, he will have Satan Cain. How can you miss it, bro? And said he would reign for 42 years. That means his time is up now. His 42 years ran out. See? So his time is up now. His 40 years ran out at the end of, well, 2019 when the play started. Depends on when it was 1977 to 2019. So he reigned up to 2019. So that means the end will come in 2020. So we'll see, right? And so his end comes when the war starts. So there you go, brothers and sisters. So we know no matter what happens, right? He can't walk. He can barely talk. You see, it's falling apart. He has no control over his demon fiefdom anymore. We'll see, because they're dropping like flies over there. They're trying to tell you they're not, they are. But anyway, that's another story. Okay, so that's what that is, brothers and sisters. See, son of perdition. So he would manifest himself after Elijah departs. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, we're going to talk about face of a serpent. Now we got to be careful about that because it's angel language. Some people get lost in angel language. Because they say face of a serpent, somehow it has like, like an actual literal face of a serpent. But this is not the sealed Bible, it's unsealed. So we explain, we unpack that, understand what it means. But it talks about Suleiman. Now Suleiman, that's where son of man comes from. It's from Latin. Latin, son, su, o, son of, o, man. That's where it comes from. See? And so Elijah Muhammad had that wrong. Because he says, well, Faraz the son of man, says as lightning come from the east even to the west. Well, if you understand angel, that's not what that means at all. In fact, that depends on what version. If you look at Book of Mark and the Book of Matthews, it's talking about the same thing, but one says from one end of heaven to the other end of heaven. And if you know angels, you understand that's not talking about that at all. That means Suleiman, right, is the lamb. See? So he had that one because it says when the Son of Man does come, all these things will happen. I mean, all hell, because that's when, right, the war breaks out. None of those things happened back in the 30s. If it was, we should be out of here by now. Because when you say it happened, it happens when the war breaks out. So he had that one wrong. And the script, and oh man, you can't say love anything wrong. What did the lesson say? He says he got them nearly correct. It didn't say which ones were correct or not. He said he got the lesson nearly correct. Elijah Muhammad never said he was infallible. See? So we're not, that's why it says Jesus did not want any one of John's followers. Because he said he wanted to put new wine into old bottles. Because they would, the old bottles spoiled. That's right. Because as soon as you start, oh man, Elijah Muhammad never said that. Elijah Muhammad never said that. You talking about 5 times 6 is 30. See, where you get that from? See, Elijah Muhammad said 3 times 10 is 30. Sure, we don't know 5 times 6 is 30. That's where they're coming from. Because they're stupid. They're time makers. And even if you see the Abraham, you're a time maker, you still, by definition, you ain't going to the promised land because you lost in the past. And we're not reaching back in the past and dragging anybody back from the past. What? Read Exodus. That's the whole purpose of going through the 40 years of Aaron, the wilderness, to get rid of old folks, get rid of the old group, because they still was locked. They was time makers. They were still locked into masses reality, still running masses, and they couldn't get out of them. See, because it was there, it was ingrained so deeply, you couldn't get the software out. It was so deep into their brain, you couldn't get the software out to replace it. That's why it says they tarry in the wilderness for 40 some years, right? Just to get rid of that old reality, that old idea, that old mind, because you couldn't get there. It was so ingrained in them. After 40 years, so ingrained into it, because they had the new one. So you young brothers and sisters out there, this kingdom belongs to you. It says there's only a handful of people that was still in my age group. They even knew Elijah Muhammad that went to the promised land. So there's only a handful of people that even knew Moses that went to the promised land. Joshua was one of them. There's only a handful. Elijah Muhammad said you can fit the believers into a taxi cab in the end. Whoa, think about that one. So as you young brothers and sisters out there, 50 and below or in that area, you understand? You're the ones that's going to the hereafter. It says a handful of old ones that knew Elijah, but most of the rest of them, they ain't going. That's why I said that was to burn them out, burn them off. Not to kill them or anything, but they couldn't take them because you couldn't give them the new mind. Because they were so ingrained, the old mind was so ingrained into them, like say you can't teach old dog new tricks. That was the problem. Okay, brothers and sisters. And when they talk about Suleiman, they call him, in the Injil, they call him Lamb from tribe of Judah, right? It's from they call it from the it said it's from the root of David. What do you mean? The root of David means the seed of David, right? That means he's David's spiritual son. Suleiman was David's fry, his spiritual son. Suleiman was the one that would build a temple. David wouldn't build a temple. It tells you in Scripture, David wouldn't build a temple, saying he would leave his son to do it. And said Suleiman was the wisest man ever in history. Why would they say that? See? But David would sit on the throne. He would rule. And Suleiman would be the high priest. Now you unpack that, bro, since you play with that for, twist that around your mind for a while. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so see here, that's what we mean by face of a serpent. That means the African nation is also called serpent. That don't mean they're serpents because Elijah's one of them. That's just angel language. See, sometimes you got to understand angel language. Sometimes the African nation is referred to as serpent, right? See, just like the original nation is referred to as the 7 eyes, the 7 spirits of the God. If you're the spirits of God, it means you're the God. It tells you right there that we're the God. It calls us the seven spirits of the God. If you're the spirit of the God, it means you're the God. I mean, it's right there. See? So that's what it means. But you think, oh man, you think it's a bad thing because he's the face of the serpent. See, that's that analytical sealed version of the Bible that's but flipping around their, rambling around their brains. See, no, that's what it means. So now he's a face of the serpent. See, it's angel language. So it says she'll be nourished, right, from the spirit of. What does this mean? We'll see at the next slide, right? Because what happens once the war starts, and just prior to the four winds blowing, right? That's when the sun. That's at the point where the messenger of the covenant suddenly comes to the temple and cleans it up with full of soap, clean up the NOI, and calls on the four winds. See, so that's what it means to nourish. Sometimes, if you read chapter 18, that's what it's talking about during that period of time. See, but it's also that period of time is when Europe would collapse. And remember, this they're talking about at this point in time right here. This is when the war starts. Once the war starts, I told you when the war starts, that's the end of the demons. That's in the Farrakhan, right? That's when Suleiman takes control of them. That's what it says in Daniel. It says this ancient days sets when first thrones were cast down. That means they cast down all the authorities in the NOI, and then he sets. See, their thrones. Then he sets. See, and that says he comes with full of soap to clean it up. Clean up who? You gotta clean Elijah's mess, clean Pharaoh's mess. He throw out the demons. That's what says you nourished in that period of time. But that period of time also, that means that's when the war starts. That means America gets kicked out. America falls to Israel, and Britain gets kicked out of the Middle East, right? That's when Babylon falls, and European economies collapse. Why they collapse? Because the European economies, right? I'm talking about EU, not Russia. Russia's Eastern Europe. EU is Western Europe. They're two legs of the old empire. He talked about it in the book of Daniel, right? So what happens is that they're totally dependent upon the oil from Iran. Totally. Don't have any reserves. But they was behind America when America attacked Iran, which is going to happen soon. In fact, some people say it's going to happen. In fact, there was this one, I was going to play it, but I'm holding on because I don't like the way it presented because, I don't know the source. I can't verify. I don't like to put things I can't verify the source. But there's talk about that there's some kind of thing that they has heard this meeting, right, with Trump and everything, where they're expecting something dramatic to happen between the 16th and the 24th, I think they said, of this month. And they assuming that it has something to do with Iran. So I'm not going to play it because I can't verify it. I don't want to be just putting stuff out there. But I heard it. I got the thing. I can show it to you, but I don't want to go into it because, like I said, it may be something to it, may not. Any rate, so this when the war takes place, and these things happen. So they kicked out, and what happens is that they Eastern Europe, Western Europe, the EU, Germany, and they're all part of NATO, right, and France and everything, right. Since they was behind America or backed America, whatever they did, assisted, then Iran, they're victorious now. They control all the Middle East, all of it. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, all of it. So they cut that all off. And that brings Europe to its knees immediately. Total collapse of the economy. That's what chapter 18 is telling them. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's move on. See, here, this is where it is right now, see? See, Suleiman, the son, he's there at NOI now. See, he's cleaning it up. See, America's got Babylon's cast down. See, now he's at war with now America. When they get cast down after the war in the Middle East, immediately they get into war with Europe. I'm not going into all the details about that. Get a war with Europe. See? So now he's come, he's cleared up in the why, getting rid of demons, right? Casting Farrakhan's be taken down from within. That's happening any day now. He's gonna be taken down from within. See? By the time this happens, Farrakhan's already either out on his knees or in chains or whatever. I don't care, right? But all this supposed to happen within 1 month period of time, right? And it's supposed to happen any time now. See? So that's what that means right there. See? And then, so, okay, well, that's what that means. So you nourish the time, what it means times, appointed times. You have to read chapter 18. I talked about that in a previous presentation, what that means. Times, for a time, for appointed times, and half appointed time. See? So that means they're nourished. They're being cleaned up. So they're being nourished now. See? Because they weren't nourished before. It's eating bad food. Okay, let's move on, brothers and sisters. See? Okay. Then you see also it says when the woman fled to the wilderness, it says she got 2 wings of an eagle. Well, that shows you right there. See, she got 2 wings of an eagle because the European nations, they also call the wings of the eagle. Remember, you have the lion, right? You have the calf, you have the face of man, and you have the eagle. European nation represent an eagle, and each one has 6 wings. So let's talk about that one right there. It says she'd be in that position, right? See, give 2 wings of eagle. But she had that position for 1,260 days, which is 42 years. Which again, right, from 277, that'd be up to 2019. So 2020, all hell breaks loose. That's where that's happening right there. That's the 2 wings of an eagle. That's what it's talking about. So when they talk about the woman, that's how I identify the women. Because women can be all those different things. One time she's being nourished from the face of serpent. Another time she got 2 wings of eagle, right? Another time just, another time like she's coming from the mouth of the dragon and one mouth from. So that's what, because, well, I'm not going into all the detail. So that's how you know, because woman represents all those pieces, not just one. So you know which one they're talking about. So this one they're talking about right there. You see, that's the demon, that's the Christian demons. In Genesis, they had the tree of knowledge of good, the tree of knowledge of evil. That represents, the demon represents knowledge of evil. The Nation of Islam represents the knowledge of good, right? But they were Levites. So that's another story. Okay. I think that's enough there. Okay, war. Now, Babylon's fate. Now you hear Mr. Farrakhan, hey, the people call by my name will worship, will stop sinning and all that kind of stuff, then I will heal that land. First of all, I'm talking about us, we don't have a land right now, right? But that's not going to happen, you see. But why is he so anxious to heal Babylon? Remember his thing on Donahue, he wants to bring devils to NOI. Why he wants to heal Babylon? Why? Because he's a demon. He wants to help Massa. What did Malcolm say? When Massa gets sick, if we sick, boss, we sick, boss. He says he wants to stay here. He wants to stay here with Massa. He said we ain't going nowhere because he wants to stay with Massa. He hates the covenant. He wants to stay here with Massa because that's his daddy. You better wake up, brothers and sisters. You're going to wake up. The problem is some of you are going to wake up too late. That's the problem. That's what we're trying to avoid. See? Because when the stuff hits the fan, some of you, it does say, my people are lost because of lack of knowledge. I mean, some of you are going to be lost. See? Remember the story about the 10 virgins? 5 of them were lost because they wouldn't do anything with that light. It was given to them. They wouldn't do anything with it. They let it go out. A lot of you are going to be lost, brothers and sisters. When you're right here, you filled agreement. You did your 400 years. Now it's time to get the reward. And you blow it. Not because the reward wasn't there to give to you and it wasn't prepared to give to you, because you refused it. You pissed on it. See? Nobody's going to drag you into the promised land. You see anything in Moses didn't drag anybody. Promise somebody's going to drag you. You have to. If you don't want to go, that's your business. I'm not going to drag you. It's up to you, brothers and sisters. We try to save as many as we can. But some of you are going to be lost because of your own ignorance. It says, my people are lost because of lack of knowledge. That means you're lost because of your own ignorance, because of your own stubbornness. Not because you're sinful, because of your own ignorance, your own stubbornness. Let's go on. Okay. They talk about this wind, right? The sixth seal, talking about this wind. It also talks about when the Lamb is told to hold back the wind until they're able to seal his elect. And that's what you see at top there. This at the point at the top of the elect. See, only two tribes were sealed. Read it carefully. See, they think all 12. No, only two tribes were sealed. The top one and the bottom one. That means that'll be in that condition situation we see right now, right? Where Syria and Iran is on the bottom. They're on the feet of the nations, right? So that's when that would happen. And that would be up until 2018. Okay? So that's when the wind would start to blow. Because it says they were shook by the mighty wind. Ain't talking about the four winds. Not talking about four winds, talking about this wind. And we're seeing in a minute because this wind is blowing, because they're moving. And so the wind starts blowing in 2018. Watch it carefully now. See, it's moving. See? So that's where we are right now, 2020. See? And it said they would also be, they had also the power to bring plagues on the earth. Remember, that represents the earth right there. Gog, Magog, and it said plagues. It says right in there, chapter 11. And so that means the plague would be during that time, and they would have something to do with it. Because it says, God said in Exodus, says, I'm going to bring this plague that's going to kill the firstborn in 2020, the elderly. And that's where it is in this period of time. But that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. The wind is blowing. They're moving. It hasn't blown strong enough yet to make make the figs. It's blowing on the fig tree, but it's not strong enough yet for the figs, you understand, to cast off. Because it said the figs was cast off before they was ripe. That means America and everything, they're planning something right now, right before your eyes, right? See? But before they actually implement that plan, right? That would mean at that point, right? That's when fraud would go to action. See, that's when the war would start. See, so in other words, before they could implement their plan, right? They hit with this war. Okay, and so so they started in 2018 to 2020, and here we are with the plague. 2020 came right on time. Okay, that's the wind blowing. Let's look at it again now. See, they're moving up. That's the wind. They're the wind. Remember, they're also wings, right? Okay, so then, now it's blown hard enough to move them, to dislodge them out of the Middle East. That's the war, 2020. So we haven't got too many days left in 2020. So we'll see, right? That's the war in the Middle East. So the last one, that's the war in the Middle East, which is about to take place. They're already, in some ways, it's taking place, all the sanctions and all that kind of stuff, all the turmoil, and Trump's already sent B-52s or whatever, those big, massive airplanes that's nuclear capable over there. Why are they sending over there? And they're armed with nuclear bombs. See, they're sitting over there in either Dubai, I think that's Dubai, they got an American base there, or in Israel. And they make all these agreements where they're gonna work with Israel now. You didn't see it before. I've been saying for years. All of a sudden, remember, they're not supposed to be allied with it. Now all of a sudden they making friends with Israel, falls Israel. All of a sudden this year, says when they say peace and security, sudden destruction. And now he's saying peace and security over there. And everybody's allies. And I've been saying for years that false Israel and the Arabs That's all the dragon. All that's part of the dragon. Now you see them all allied together. Farrakhan never told you anything like that. It's not even message black men either. They're all allied together. I've been saying for years. Go back. If you can find my old videos, you see I'm talking about. Some of them, I got videos going back several years. I did cancel my channel on YouTube for a while. I was able to set up another one, but I still have some. I thought when they canceled, they got rid of my videos too, but they didn't. They didn't get rid of all of them. They got rid of some of them. So I went back and I found out that some of them are still there from 2 or 3 years ago. But go back. I've been talking about this. So all of a sudden now, nobody saw that coming. Oh man, they'll never be allied with false Israel. They are now, aren't they? And Farrakhan talking about that? No. It's going to be a war! Thank you. Right? Thank you for that. It's going to be a war. See? Yeah. Winter's coming. I got one for you. Winter's coming. Okay. So that's what it's talking about. Okay? Okay. Now, baptized with fire. What does that mean? See? That's talking about the four winds. Now you're talking about the four winds. See, that other wind wasn't the four winds, it was a wind. The four winds, baptized with fire. Because there's two resurrections. The first resurrection, that was when Elijah, he raised the widow's son, that's the Levites. So they had no spirit, they had form, but no spirit. Remember I said before that he was cleaning up from the outside? So he had the form. They looked good, they looked like, had the form, and it was dressed and everything else. But they had no spirit in them, it wasn't in them. See? So it took the four winds, that's the one Suleiman, right? He prayed to the four winds, or called on the four winds, and they raised with spirit. Because spirit was in them. And it says it was a powerful army. See? So this is the baptized with fire. That's what we're talking about here. Baptized with fire. It's also the resurrection. So that's fire. Now I put fire there as graphic, but those of you on the angel, right? In chapter 10, it talks about this angel. That's that one right there with the red, not with the elect up there, but that's the one called circle of Africa. Right? It says 2 feet were pillars of fire. And as we know that the feet would be the bottom 2. Right? So that's the fire. So those are also the first and second trumpets. Remember the first, second trumpets, they don't blow until after the fifth one. The fifth one blows first, and then the sixth is holding them back, right? And then that one releases them. See? So people think, oh no, you have to understand this. They haven't blown yet. The fifth one's blown, the sixth one, but he's getting ready to release the first 4 winds, or the first 4 trumpets, right? And the bottom 2 are fire. See? And so, if you see it's blinking there, okay, if you read there, it says, this is a time of vengeance, right? This is time of the resurrection. They flee to the mountains. See, those winds up there also called mountains. They also referred to as mountains. That means the woman's being resurrected. We'll see that in a second, right? But it tells you, it says, woe to those who are pregnant, those nursing. Well, what does it mean by pregnant? That's what it means. See the 2 blinking? They got something under them. That means they're the ones that's pregnant. They're the ones that's going to wrath is upon them. America falls Israel and Britain, right? The wrath will be upon them when the 4 winds blow. When the 4 winds blow, that's going to wrath is upon them. That's what it's talking about. They get their asses burned. That's just the beginning of their troubles. See? But it also means, right, that's the baptism of fire, because when those are 2, when you see in a second, it's going to hit, so that means baptized fire, because that's what it's going to take to raise it. It's a constructive fire, right, for the NOI, right, but it's destructive fire, right, for the demons. See, because they don't go crazy. Because also, that's when the demons, the second demon plague goes. See, because I didn't show it here, but you see where it says the flames and also the wind on top of it. That's also the 4 keys. So it says that 5th one there where it says blood, right? He said he had the key to the bottomless pit, but he needed the key to release the demons, to release the locusts. And so that's when they're going to start tearing this country apart. Because I'm not going into all the details about that, brother, but when this happens, all hell is going to break loose in this country. They're telling you right now, they're scared there's going to be a revolution. They're talking about the state's going to be a civil war. I mean, everybody's on the edge in this country right now. You saw the stuff that's going on. And they think, well, if somehow Trump was able to pull this thing out, man, they said they're going to tear this country apart. I mean, whoa, everybody's on the edge. They said they'd never seen anything like this before in American history, right? But also at this point, it says that once they're kicked out, it said once the dragon kicked out to the earth, once he loses the war, he said he goes to make war with the woman who right, the woman, right, who keeps the covenant, right? See, who follows the laws of Moses. That's talking about NOI. Because remember, I said, remember the woman, she's different parts. So like the one on the bottom down there, right? See, she had two wings of an eagle, right? Okay. The black one there, NOI, right? It's the one that was nourished from face for service. Then you got the other one up the one top there, right? It says, talking about a flood came out of the mouth of the beast, right? See, that's the beast they're talking about right there, is where the lion is. And one came out of the mouth of the dragon, right? That's where you see the calf is. So it's telling, so you know which one they're talking about. So the leftover one is the one that said they're gonna make war. They're gonna make war, right, with the black people soon as they kicked out of the Middle East. That's what it's telling you. They're gonna make war. It says the dragon will make war with the leftover, the righteous ones that keep the laws, Moses, keep the laws of Elijah, right? They're gonna make war with them to keep the law of Moses or the law of Elijah. That's NOI. See? But it means in general, it's gonna attack all black people. As soon as that war's over, it tells you, as soon as the dragon was angry when he saw us kicked out. See? And there's some things going on back. Like I said, I didn't want to show you, brothers and sisters. And I really don't want to do it because I can't confirm it. But if you heard it, because they haven't made it public, so I can't confirm it. But because there's this thing on this video that they claim came from the White House, for the people in the White House, where they're talking about Trump, right, is preparing to institute martial law. So I'm just going to say that much because I'm not going to promote that because I can't verify it. See, I don't know if they're making this up, whatever. See, it's from a credible site, but they can't prove it. They show it. Maybe somebody made up whatever, but that's what they're saying. See, and if you, it fits everything what I'm saying because it says the way they talk about it is talking about. Well, I'm not going to brothers and sisters. I'm just leave it like that. So maybe I might give you a link to it, but I don't know if I should do that because I said I don't like talking about stuff because sometimes people send me stuff, right? And it's exciting. It sounds like, and if I can't prove it, if I can't verify it, I'm not going to use it. See, because somebody sent me something about that they know that Israel and Trump has been communicating with these aliens. That's BS. See, that's to get you to start repeating that, and that shows you. So everybody laugh at you, say, "See, he's a fool," because they know that they know they're lying. But you repeat it, then they know you're a fool too. That you're just making up stuff yourself. And I'm not gonna fall for that one. See, because they ain't speaking no aliens. There's no aliens out there. Once you understand who your nature and how the universe works, anything's out there. Any life out there is out there. We put out there. There's no aliens out there. See, anything's out there. Life's out there. Is life we put out there. So I'm not going to repeat something I can't. Like I said, we about proof here. Knowledge and science. Okay, brothers, since that's what's happening here. So it says, read it. Read chapter 12. It said the dragon went to make war with those that kept it. I'm not saying it exactly correctly. I'm paraphrasing. But those who keep the laws of Moses, whatever. It's about Elijah. That's the NOI. Then the dragon went to make war with her. but it's talking about generals. So they're going to attack us as soon as the war is over. When something kicked out, as soon as the dragon was kicked out of the Middle East, it became wrathful to the woman. Did I say here? No, I don't say it. It attacked them. That one. But it's about all black folks in general. See? So let's go on. And that's when, right, the four went, and actually at this little area here, because where the lion is right there, and Farrakhan and Fraud is, they should be switched. I forgot that. I'm going to leave it there. So just so you know that, I just noticed right there, Fraud should be up there where the lion is, and lion should be down there where Farad is. Okay. For one little note. Now remember, that's the Orient there, where Farad is. This is just a little segue. That's the Orient. See? So that means China and Japan, all that kind of stuff. But the top two, where it says C is, that represents Japan. And I said, why is that important? Farad, he with Japan? Well, listen what Elijah Muhammad told you. Where was the wheel built? It was built off the coast of Japan. Who are the people that's running the wheel? Who did he use to take and pilot the wheel? He said Japanese. See, Farrakhan told black folks, no, it doesn't say that. He said he used Japanese. He built it off the coast of Japan, right? That's where it was built at. They used scientists from all over the world. Once it was built, they killed all the scientists off except the Japanese, so they could take our knowledge back, that spatial knowledge back to their countries, right? And then he used Japanese to pilot it. So that's a little hint right there. It's telling you, that's where Farad is. He's with the Japanese on the wheel. I'll tell you, this Angel Key, once you get into it, brother, it tells you so much stuff. Because that's what it's saying right there. That's Japan there. Remember, this is China and India. I mean, it's China and Korea and all that kind of stuff. But that represents Japan. Top two represents Japan there. Right? Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's pretty much it. I think I said everything I need to say here. I mentioned earlier we need to be careful about our children because they're setting your children up for an analytical world that they never would take part of anyway. But your children, if you look at them, talk to them, they're already born into it. They're already born into an analytical world. If they come up with these analytical cyborg bodies, they're powerful, disease-free, live as long as they want to. They can video games in their head, right? Anything they want to do. You see, don't have to sleep or anything. All kinds of sensual desires they can just turn on, just press a button within themselves and think about it because they have total control. The kids are already born into it. All they got to do is have enough money to afford it. $2 million buys. I mean, these people are ready, right? If you one of them, you got you a mansion someplace with, sealed, what do you call it, chain or whatever, security, fenced in, right? You got your Lamborghini, all that stuff, right? So you can stay away from crime, all that kind of stuff, right? Protected from it. So once they move to this next level right here, where they're free from disease, free from climate, then they don't care if the climate goes bad. They don't care if all the plant life goes bad because they don't need it anymore. They're going to make a mechanical world. But you still got to live in that world. So now this world is going to hell and you still in your biological bodies when they're making war against the biological world and the biological world is falling apart. Because that's what he's saying. This global warming, that means the biological world is falling apart. But you're still in your biological body because you can't afford that mechanical body. So which thing will happen to you, brothers, sisters? You better think about it. See, you never heard any of this kind of stuff. And if you pay attention, you know it's right. Who's talking about it? They don't know. They're just blind leading the blind. They have no idea what's going on. Farrakhan, this virus, I've been talking about this virus for how long? Definitely before 1619, 2019. He didn't saw it coming. He's always his so-called Savior's Day. He wasn't talking about even then. 2 months in, end of February. 2 months in, 6 days in, he's still not saying things killing people. He gets all the way to July, and now all of a sudden he's talking about he comes with a mask on. He still understands it. And he still doesn't understand 1619, 2019. He don't even mention that. He don't even mention the Passover because if he did, he wouldn't be wearing that mask, would he? And he's got control of it, but his main minister, right, because he said, if you submit to me, if you really had a problem, because, the reason why you're getting it, because you're sinful and because you ain't paying attention to me. But his top minister, see, his top minister in New York went down with it. How many ways it take for Rod to manifest this fool, this liar? Disemboweled him, a clear visible flame. It says right in here, he'll be disemboweled. That's a clear. God, Allah would never punish any of his ministers, any place, anything like that, with that kind of punishment. Because that's the worst punishment you could inflict on a man. Disembowel him, castrate him. That's the worst punishment you ever. No man would want. A man would rather, and I don't care what man on this planet you find, they'd rather be dead than to be in that condition. If you gave him a choice to just kill me, if that's my choice, I'd rather be dead. Because he said, right? It says, they said, well, women is your heaven. That means he has no heaven there, right? Because he's bridge to heaven's cut off. I mean, what does this take? See? So I ain't talking about you demons. Y'all keep on. You stick. I want y'all to stick with him. You scripties, you stick with him too. Because you time makers, you're not going anywhere. You stick with him too. See? But I'm talking to you, those that can't distinguish their right hand from their left. Only reason why we're still in this mess right now. We're in this mess right now for two reasons. Because Farad says, no, I'm not going to do anything right now because we have 120,000. You got to understand what that number means, right? They can't distinguish the left from the right. That means they're still confused because they can't distinguish Elijah Muhammad's teaching from Farrakhan's teaching. That's one of the reasons. Other reason is, right? See, is that you have to have thorough knowledge yourself. You have to come from intimate with this angel. Those are the only things holding this thing up. See, and when the four winds blow, that's going to end. That's going to solve that part of the problem. You see, and we're going home, brothers and sisters. See, okay. Assalamu alaikum.